For the first time, state officials have detected bird flu in Wisconsin cows. WMTV's Nicole Herzog breaks down what this means for your health and your wallet.
Everything's got to be clean. Everything's got to be sanitary.
Dairy farmer Lonnie Holthouse says routine inspections are just part of the business.
So we're probably the tightest state in the union as far as quality milk and keeping track of things.
The Department of Agriculture, Trade and Consumer Protection is part of keeping those standards for dairy products so high. Checking cattle for bird flu is one way they do that.
We have over 24,000 samples that have been tested looking for this disease, and they've been negative up until this point.
Sunday, DATCP discovered a dairy herd in Dodge County with bird flu, but experts say your milk is still safe to drink.
As long as you're consuming pasteurized, whether it's fluid milk or eggs or cheese, ice cream or butter, you should be safe because that pasteurization process takes care of the problems.
Your wallet should also be safe. When bird flu hit poultry flocks, egg prices rose. That's because the sickness typically leads to the death of the entire flock. But cows are different.
Where the dairy industry, the one cow that was determined to have it currently is only producing that 80, 90 pound to 100 pounds of milk on a daily basis. She's probably going to get sick, which is one of the signs, and her production will be reduced, but it isn't like the rest of the herd has that same issue.
Take it from this dairy farmer.
Don't worry, because we deal with the cows being sick about something all the time. That's what we do. We try to keep our cows healthy and everything, but the system ain't going to change. It'll be just fine.
Now, state officials put the Dodge County herd under quarantine. CDC considers the health risk for people getting this virus to be low.